Hello, Spring Ridge neighbors. As you know, Gilchrist County has stepped forward with a plan to use recycled asphalt to pave our roads here in Spring Ridge. It's a very inexpensive plan because the county is going to contribute 100% of the materials to the project, including the recycled asphalt, the lime rock, and other materials to build a solid 6-inch base under the road surface, which is a real problem with our roads, by the way. And they will even replace any road signs that are damaged and need to be replaced, all at the county's cost for the materials. All we as residents have to pay for is the labor to put these materials down on the roads. In a previous video, we talked about recycled asphalt. But what does a recycled asphalt road look like? What are the benefits and what are the downsides? What does it take to do the job the right way so that we will have drivable roads for years to come? We started asking those questions, and Gilchrist County Administrator Bobby Crosby recommended that we go to Taylor County and talk to Hank Evans, the county's superintendent of public works. Why Taylor County? Well, it's because they've been repaving roads with recycled asphalt longer than just about anyone else in this area. Gilchrist County, so far, they don't have any roads repaved this way. Taylor County, on the other hand, has several roads going back 20 years or more using recycled asphalt. So, we hit the road. It was Lee and Brenda Schaltenbrand along with my wife Erin and yours truly. And about an hour and 15 minutes later, we were in the town of Perry. We met up with Hank Evans at his office and started discussing the roads that they've paved with recycled asphalt. We wanted to know everything about these roads. And Hank was great. He provided us with a treasure trove of information. Okay, it's time for a little warning. In this video, one of the roads that we're going to show you was paved with recycled asphalt, and it did not turn out well. This road was paved 20 years ago, and they didn't know what they were doing back then. They only used a very thin layer of recycled asphalt, about this thin, about 1 inch. And the road, well, it looks really bad in spots. But we're going to show it to you anyway. And Hank is going to tell us about the mistakes they made. You see, we're not making these videos to be cheerleaders or to sugarcoat anything. Our task was to find out the real story behind their paving projects, what they did wrong in the early days, what they learned from making those mistakes, and how they've used this knowledge and experience to build good, solid, drivable roads like they're building today using recycled asphalt. And then bring that knowledge back with us to Gilchrist County. So, there you go. That's what you can expect in this video. No sugarcoating, just the facts. We started out with a little question and answer session with Mr. Hank.
Well, first of all, tell us who you are.
I'm Hank Evans, the road director for Taylor County.
Oh, okay. What made you decide to start paving roads using recycled millings?
I've been in this position for 12 years. The road was done like that prior to my being hired on. They were starting to fail a little bit, so we found out that the milling actually wasn't put down thick enough to stay there any amount of time. It was put down like 1 inch thick.
Okay, we're going to stop right here and show you what Mr. Hank is talking about. He took us out to one of their earlier projects using recycled asphalt. This road, Carlton Road, just south of Perry, was paved 20 years ago. The portion we're looking at here on the screen is near where the road intersects with the county highway. So right here is the spot where you have cars that have been driving fast down the road. It's a straight shot road. They've been driving fast. Here they're putting on their brakes, they're stopping, they're turning the corner. So it's the part of the road that really is tough on the asphalt. It gets the most wear and tear. And well, guess what? It tore. The recycled asphalt did not hold up. But why didn't it hold up? Well, Mr. Hank just told us why.
the milling actually wasn't put down thick enough to stay there any amount of time. It was put down like an inch thick.
But here's the interesting thing that we saw about this road. Even though they did not put down enough asphalt, only like 1 inch they said, the fact that they put the road on a solid 6-inch base still made a lot of difference. Here, let's go ahead and walk up about 50 feet from the intersection to get away from the area where the cars are putting on their brakes and turning the corner. Now, look at the condition of the road here. It's still in good shape. And we're talking a road that is 20 years since it was paved. You know, even though it wasn't paved properly, this section of road we thought actually looks better than most of the roads in Spring Ridge. What do you think? They made those mistakes on the roads they paved many years ago. But the important thing is they learned from their mistakes. And here's how they fixed the problem on another one of those roads they paved 20 years ago.
Come back, mixed the old millings in with a sub base, which we had like 6 inches of sub base, which is crucial to having the milling stay together. And we come back and put 4 inches of milling on top of that.
Okay. So the roads that you've done that way, that you
Seem to be holding up.
they seem to be holding up really well?
Yes.
Okay.
So now, what does this fixed road look like? Well, here it is. Strickland Landing Drive, south of Perry. This is the road that Mr. Hank was talking about, the one they rebuilt 7 years ago with recycled asphalt, this time doing it the right way. There are no cracks, there are no potholes. We did notice some erosion of the pavement along the side of the road. Mr. Hank said that on this particular road, during heavy rains, water flows over this section of the road. And flowing or setting water is a problem on any road, no matter how it's paved. In fact, Mr. Hank spoke about this problem during our interview.
And you need to keep the water off of it too, because water, even on a paved asphalt road, water saturation will loosen the base up and it'll cause it to go to alligator cracking and sinking in some. So.
Okay, so you're saying any place we've got in the Spring Ridge subdivision that has had
possibly have standing water on it.
That's something that we need to pay close attention to.
Before you pave it, yes.
Okay.
If we go forward with this project in Spring Ridge, that is definitely something that will need to be addressed and resolved when they do the construction work. We asked Hank some more questions about it. We were really interested in this issue. We asked questions about it later when we were off camera. He did clarify that it's not a problem with the little, the small ponds of water that show up after every shower and then they disappear in 15 minutes. That's not an issue. But if there's any place where water sits on the road for hours, or worse yet, if it flows over the road and floods the road, then that's a drainage area that will have to be addressed or the road won't last. We will be asking the county to come out and evaluate our roads during a heavy rainfall and determine the areas that might need a little more raising of the roadbed so that they don't pond like this. And we looked at Hings and Tanner Road. This road is just to the north of Perry. This road was paved just within the last month using recycled asphalt. This gives you a good idea of what the recycled surface looks like when the road is first paved. And let's be clear, this is not the smooth black surface that you get when a road is paved with brand new asphalt. And honestly, that's the trade-off. If we want a super smooth black road surface, it's going to cost us a huge sum of money to buy all new asphalt. And for those of you who've been in Spring Ridge for a while, you know we've been down this road before. Pardon the pun. And paving all of Spring Ridge with brand new asphalt is just too expensive for us or the county to afford. This recycled material, on the other hand, isn't going to cost us 1 red cent for the material. Recycled asphalt, it's a lot greenier in appearance, and it's lighter in color. And when it's first put down on the road surface, it can be gravelly on the top surface. But the summer sun and heat and traffic are all things that will seal it and smooth it and make it a solid road surface for us to drive on. When I was researching recycled asphalt, one of the things I read on a paving company's website is that it is beneficial to have big trucks driving on these roads. Seems counterintuitive, doesn't it? But it is. Heavy trucks actually help to seal recycled pavement. My wife asked Mr. Hank a question about this during the interview, and here's what he had to say.
How does it hold up? Because we do get like semis and dump trucks in the neighborhood on occasion. How does it hold up if you're getting, because there's still some construction going on, there's some empty lots.
Right. Like I was saying, that all falls back to what you have under the milling to prep, the base. Like I say, we put a minimum of 6 inches of base, and we've had some log trucks in some of these subdivisions. They're logging beyond it, so they come through it periodically, and we haven't had any trouble, knock on wood, hadn't had any trouble with it.
Did you hear that? They have log trucks driving on these roads. Big, huge, loaded log trucks. And the one thing Mr. Hank mentioned over and over and over again is that you've got to have that strong, solid 6 inches of base material. That's what we don't have right now. And that's why our roads are always falling apart. And that is what Gilchrist County has committed to provide for us if we approve this project. One final question we had from Mr. Hank was about how the residents, the people who live on these roads, how do they feel about the roads?
How do the residents who live on these roads feel? Do they, when you've got it right here, do they like them?
We haven't heard any complaints out of them.
So. Oh, okay.
So there you have it. We've shown you the good and the bad. We've seen some of the mistakes that Taylor County made back before they learned how to do it right, so that we can learn from those mistakes and advise our county officials so they don't repeat them here in Spring Ridge. And we've seen the roads that they are building from recycled asphalt from the past right up to the current day. Again, make no mistake, this is not the same as brand new asphalt, but it is far, far better than the pothole minefield we're all driving on right now. And the opportunity to get all this construction material at no taxpayer cost to us is an offer we shouldn't pass up. And if we do pass it up, it's an offer we will likely never see again. Become informed, know the facts, and let's all step up and fix this problem with our Spring Ridge roads.